Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Tami Patzer, and I'm really excited because we are going to be speaking with BARRY AUCHETTL, and he is a visionary leader in the field of holistic eyesight improvement and personal insight development. BARRY has had a compelling journey of overcoming the need to wear glasses and even a brain tumor on his optic nerve, and he is the founder of the Vision School. His work is dedicated to helping individuals improve their eyesight naturally while also enhancing their inner vision. BARRY's also the creative mind behind the inspiring film Vision 2020, From Eyesight to Insight. So today we're just going to have a great conversation with BARRY about his journey and his incredible groundbreaking methods and how you can start seeing the world through clearer, more insightful eyes. So welcome, BARRY.
Thank you, Tami. Really great to be here.
Yeah, I just to let everybody know, I had the pleasure of actually meeting BARRY in person. It was like in early 2020, February, right before COVID hit. We were at, I believe it was something like the Soul Connection, but it was an event and it was a very transforming event. And BARRY was living in Australia, and now he is living here in Florida in the United States. So that's really exciting to hear. So welcome. So first, BARRY, can you share some of your personal journey and how you managed to overcome the need for glasses, despite the fact that you actually had a brain tumor on your optic nerve?
Yeah, but look, it was certainly a journey, and you've got to imagine, you've got to go back now 30 years for this. This is 30 years ago. I was a school teacher teaching in a high school, and I took my son to an optometrist, and the optometrist suggested some eye exercises for him. And I was like, really? Like, come on, you know. And he turned around to me and he said, what about you? And I said, oh, it's too late for me. I'm already 32, you know, like I'm too old. And, but I went home and there must have been something within me that twigged, you know, when moments happen in life, and there was nothing that was specifically said, but I went home and I remembered that when I got my glasses, I put them on and they felt too strong. And people always have this thing, we go back to the optometrist and we say they feel too strong, and the response is, you'll get used to it. In other words, I figured my eyes would deteriorate sufficiently to match the new lens. But he also said something to me. He also said, well, what do you expect for someone in their mid-40s? And I was 32, and I thought, if my eyesight is in the equivalent to somebody in the mid-40s, what's going to be like when I'm in my mid-40s, 50s, 60s? And so I really started an experiment on myself to see, is it possible to get out of glasses? And I just started doing something every day to see, my goal was really at the end of the day, if I could stop the deterioration in my eyesight. Like that was about what I could handle in terms of possibility. I went back to the optometrist 2 months later, and he actually took off the need for reading glasses. He said, you don't need reading glasses anymore. And in actual fact, I've never used reading glasses again since. So that was pretty incredible, and it got me excited, you know, like maybe this is possible to even get out of glasses for distance. And 4 months later, I passed a driver's license with 20/20 vision. And that was, you know, amazing in itself, you know, to go and get a driver's license with that taken off. That was really a thrill for me. The interesting thing that happened is that 2 weeks later, he called me back in because he had a new machine, and I got to be sort of friend. He was quite interested in what I was doing, and we became friends. And he had this new machine for checking peripheral vision. And what happened is, as he checked the peripheral vision, I didn't have any. And that's how they actually discovered there was a tumor sitting on the nerve, and they said, you shouldn't be able to see. And I've gone, well, I'm doing all these exercises, I'm doing all these things. And that was the start, I believe, of my journey from eyesight into bigger vision. I had to have and create a bigger vision for myself to get through that.
So you actually went from needing reading glasses to not needing reading glasses to not needing the distance lenses. And then, of course, the serendipity of it was that because you became friends with the optometrist, you were able to find out that you had these issues, yet this tumor, which could have stolen your eyesight, didn't, probably because you'd been working on this other thing. And I know that this goes way beyond just eyesight, because you do a lot with insight, and I definitely want to get into that. But I do want to talk more about the eyesight for a little bit. So with your strategies, what can people do to get started, to start improving their eyesight, if that is something that they want to do? Because I know that one of my eyes, for example, is 20/20. I have an astigmatism, and then I have the other one is like 20/15 or something. And they've been like that for a long, long time. And I avoid wearing glasses a lot until I need to wear them, even though I know that my vision isn't, 20/20. It's interesting. So what are some steps that someone could take to get started?
So first of all, I don't want wearing glasses for people to feel bad if they wear glasses. If they need to wear them, like if they're driving, I prefer if they're wearing them if I'm coming the other way. So they do serve a purpose. Although what happens in modern society is they become a crutch. And so I love the fact that you decide, I can wear them, I need to wear them for this, but I don't need to wear them for that. I think is a great starting point. Work out, when do you need to wear them, when don't you need to wear them. And I actually ended up doing a Master's of Education focusing on computers and eyesight. And in that, I actually classified all the eye exercises that I found and all the ones that I created into passive and active eye exercises. Active is like going to the gym, really working hard. Passive is just being really still. And more these days, and certainly with the work of Dr. William Bates that I sort of followed and really went into, what's happened is more and more, I believe, it's just, if you can relax your eyes, that goes a long way towards it. And I can show you how to do that in a moment. And I just want to encourage people to think about the fact that we spend 5 minutes or so every day cleaning our teeth, twice a day without thinking about it. What do we do to look after our eyes? And so, it's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just saying, most of the time with computers too, we are using our eyes, it seems like, way more than we used to use them, because we're like, if we're using computers for work, you're talking about at least 8 hours probably in front of a computer, if not more, depending, or people now with their phone.
So if you use a computer more than 2 hours a day, it has a detrimental effect on your eyesight. Now, most of us are probably using a computer more than 2 hours a day. Yeah. So, what can we do about it? And we're also, the statistics at the moment is showing that over 90%, listen to this, over 90% of people over 50 wear glasses. And no one's saying much about it because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Imagine if I gave you a pair of crutches because you sprained your foot, and I said, now you need to use these crutches for the rest of your life. you'd probably get a second opinion. But with glasses, we just accept that as society. Everyone has them.
Yes, and a lot of times glasses are a fashion statement.
Yes.
And I know I have a pair of prescription sunglasses, and they keep disappearing because my son's girlfriend keeps on grabbing them, and I go, those are prescription glasses. They're not just sunglasses, you know, but I guess she likes the way they look or something.
That's right.
But that is amazing that many people wear glasses. And I imagine that with the newer, younger generations, they're probably going to be wearing glasses because they're using technology when they're little babies, and they're.
That's right. It used to be 50% of adults. It's now 50% of the total population, because younger people are coming through wearing glasses as well.
Wow.
So I will give you one exercise, and I work on this basis. You know, the more exercises I give people, the less likely they are to do them.
Right.
So I'm just going to give you this one exercise that you can do that should actually, for most cases, will have some improvement in your eyesight straight away. Then if you can get that, you're more likely to do it every day. And that's what I want people to do. So I'll show you first, and then I'll get you to do it with me, Tami.
Okay.
But you'll have your eyes closed. So I'm going to get you to rub your hands, and everyone that's listening, you're going to be rubbing your hands. You're going to cup them like you've got some eggs in them, and you're going to place them over your closed eyes like that. And then when I tell you to, you're going to drop them, just like you got V's. You're going to touch the corners of your eyes, drop your hands, and open your eyes.
Okay.
That's simple. So let's everyone do that together.
They rub your hands together. Okay. Got it.
Creating some warmth, and then we're going to cup them and place them over our closed eyes. That's perfect, Tami. Well done.
Okay.
And the first thing I want you to do is to relax. Just drop your shoulders and relax. And I want you to notice, are your hands warm, cold, or maybe even just tingly?
Warm.
Okay. I want you to notice also, are you seeing black, complete black, or are you seeing shapes and maybe some light and even colours coming through?
It seems like kind of dark clouds, but it's pretty dark.
Okay. The final question for you is, how does it feel? Like, is it relaxing for your eyes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just drop our hands slowly, touch the corners of your eyes, drop your hands completely, and then open your eyes.
Oh, you're clearer.
And we didn't stage this, everyone listening. Like this.
Yeah, you actually are clearer than you were before we did that exercise. Yes. So it was just that I relaxed my eyes, and so it just gave them that.
There's two things about this. One is about relaxing the muscles around your eyes as a technical approach. There's also an energetic component to this about sending energy into your eyes, and that will also relax your eyes. So both are working depending on how you see it. So it's referred to as palming, and it's the number one exercise I encourage everyone to do every day. If you just did that, I've literally had people get out of classes just doing that one exercise.
Well, I can vouch for it because I did it, and definitely when I opened my eyes, you were much clearer on the screen than you were just a few minutes before. And again, I don't even think that took a minute to do.
No.
So
if
that
you
is
2 minutes a day, just 2 minutes a day doing that. So that will have an effect on your eyesight.
Wow, that's the way to do a demonstration.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that too, because that is something that I could do. And I do spend more than 2 hours a day in front of a computer.
And there's timers and all that people have suggested, to remind people to do it. I found if I'm working and a timer goes on and says, now do your palming, most people will just turn that off after a day or two because it disrupts them. But the idea, if you can build that into your day every half hour or so, do 15, 20 seconds of palming, not only will your eyes feel better, but your level of concentration will actually improve.
And
And so
I
you
need
actually get
that.
more done.
That focus is something.
Yes,
Again, sometimes I can just focus and I'll look at the clock and hours will have gone by because I'm so involved in
sure.
something. And then other times it's like I'm here and here and here and getting very distracted. I know that you talk about the relationship between your eyesight and your insight, and I know you do a lot with insight because I've done some of your classes, um, and they're very, very powerful. Can you explain the concept of how eyesight and insight are connected?
Sure. Where I started, I guess my own journey, having improved my eyesight, doing the eye exercises improved them to a certain extent. And I had a lot of other people who found that, yes, it would help and it would improve eyesight, but wouldn't necessarily eliminate glasses. And one of the final steps for me, in order for me to do that, was I had to really look at what was it in life I didn't want to look at. What was it in life I didn't want to see? And when I had to really look at that, what was going on in my life, particularly as a teenager, there was a whole lot of stuff going on around my family dynamics. My parents eventually got divorced, but I didn't want to see what was going on. And so for a lot of people, it's really interesting to go back and look at what is it that caused you to get glasses in the first place. And we can say, yes, we can say computers and we can say age and we can say those sorts of things. But my experience is there's an emotion behind that that has triggered it, mainly probably 1 to 2 years before you even notice that your eyesight deteriorated. It takes a while. And that can be a loss of a loved one, a divorce, shifting house, losing a career. All those things can affect people's eyesight.
I think you're absolutely right, because I remember the first time when I was growing up, I had 20/20 vision, no eyesight problems at all. And then when I was about 17, I graduated a year early from school because my parents were always arguing. I was like trying to speed it up because my dad kept telling my mom that as soon as I graduated, he wanted a divorce. And I remember my eyesight went from 20/20 to all of a sudden everything was blurry when I was trying to read and go to school. And I remember going to the doctor and they prescribed glasses for nearsighted, for reading. But it's funny because that was my first experience with trying to wear glasses. And then later, the experience was, oh no, you're farsighted. You need glasses for distance. But I do think you're right, because I remember that was a very traumatic period of, when my parents were arguing. And then, of course, they never did get a divorce. They stayed together until my mother passed away. I mean, so it was obviously they were just probably going through a rough patch at that moment in time. So you talk about life's vision, and can you expand on that and how beyond the eyesight that you're working on, explain more about what else you're doing with life's vision?
So where the work is sort of having looked at, I guess, those aspects of what don't you want to see, it then sort of explored where are you going to, like where are you heading? And in particular, I found working with people is one of the things that was stopping them from seeing is that they weren't clear on their own life's vision, on where they were heading. And so a lot of my work started looking at people's vision of life. In other words, started looking at what is it they're meant to be doing in this life, and are they living the life they came here to do? And a lot of people simply weren't living it. They had an idea or they had an inkling about what they wanted to do. But there was generally this aspect of, I think there's something more to life than this. Something more than just getting by from 9 to 5 and surviving this week, this year, this decade. And for me, it's really about having a contribution to the world itself, of uplifting the world. And so the work that I do now is really supporting people in what I refer to as about being a beacon of light. In other words, sharing their light with others. So first of all, they get to find their own light and really get clear on what they want. And then they actually get to support others to do the same thing. And we've now done that with hundreds of people, where we've managed to raise their vibration, their frequency to brand new levels so that they can actually live what they want to do. And it's slightly different than just a straight coaching session, because what I do is I create a technique called light-body alignment. And what that does is clear those blocks that stop us from living our life's purpose. So there's one thing saying, oh yes, I know what my blocks are. There's another thing to be able to clear that literally in a matter of minutes.
Yes, and I have participated in some of your clearings, the classes that you've done, and you're absolutely right. Once it's identified, and then you do whatever it is you do to help clear them. I know that I witness my own different transformations, but I also witness other people in this group setting in some of the classes that you've done. So I can really see that. Can you?
The great thing, just to comment on that, the great thing about these group settings is I might be clearing your eyes, or might be clearing an issue that you might have in a group setting. As I clear that, it not only clears for that person, it clears for everyone listening, whether they're live or listening to the replay. So we've had people who have had massive change listening to one of the classes where I'm clearing blocks for someone 2, 3, 5 years earlier. And it's still having the same impact. And that's because this work actually moves beyond time and space. It's not static. It's set up. The intent was it to set up so that it has the same effect whether you listen to it live or you listen to it in 50 years' time when I'm not here.
That's really phenomenal, because yes, I have listened to the replays and done it live. And that, I think that is a true statement that and I think you're right, because that's part of your legacy. And that's the beauty of the fact that we're able to record different things now, because you, like you said, it transcends time and space. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the movie Vision 2020, From Eyesight to Insight. How did that movie come about, and what is the concept of it about the eyesight and about what you're doing now with the clearings and that type of work?
It's really an introduction for people to look at what is all this about, what is the connection? What is the connection from eyesight to insight? So in 2019, I knew 2020 was coming up. And I thought, this is a great idea to do something for 2020. It's such an obvious thing when we talk about eyesight, and 2020 is going to be there. We didn't know there's going to be a pandemic that shut everything down. But we actually, I got one of my other vision teachers and myself, we actually decided to interview all these vision teachers and to let people know that it's possible to do something about their own eyesight. And then as the movie progresses, it's only a 75-minute movie, but as it progresses, it takes people on this journey where they recognize there's more to eyesight than just how we see. And it therefore starts looking at a bigger picture of what real vision is. Now, the beauty with this movie is we've had people improve their physical eyesight watching the movie, and we've had people recognizing that they deserve to have a bigger vision of life by watching the movie as well. Because I believe everyone deserves to live their life's vision.
It's interesting because when you talk about that, I keep getting that everyone talks about, what is your purpose? And the way that you describe it as a life's vision, I like that, because to me that makes it more visually clear in my mind, because so many people talk about purpose. And when you talk about purpose, I think that doesn't always resonate. But when you talk about what is your life's vision, it makes it almost something that you can see, so that you could move forward. So what is happening right now? What are the big things you're doing right now, Barry?
The biggest thing I'm doing at the moment is I'm running these mentoring groups, and there's a group called Life Vision Mentoring. And what that will do will take people on a journey that in 6 months will take their vibration, if you know the David Hawkins scale, over 1,000, which 10 years ago I would have said was impossible. And it raises their personal connection to spirit, who they are, and will at least double that. And it also takes their frequency, which is about the law of attraction, of how can I manifest relationships? How can I manifest money? How can I manifest the life that I really want to live? How can I manifest good health? And opens that up to even new possibilities as well, as we lift to a higher level of frequency rather than a traditional frequency where people are sort of competing with each other and making do. This puts us into a higher level of consciousness where we can actually start allowing stuff to come to us rather than trying to fight for it. And so this program has been literally a program that people have to apply for. They can't just come into it. They have to have a certain level of development. It's really setting up a real spiritual foundation. We can guarantee people now the success because after 16 programs and 10 years later, we have had 100% success rate, 100% success rate in getting people to these new levels.
Wow. So what is that called again?
It's called Life Vision Mentoring.
Life Vision Mentoring. So if somebody wants to contact you about anything, about the Eyesight or the Life mentoring, what is Life
Vision Mentoring.
Yes. How can they do that?
The easiest way would be the visionschool.org. There is a contact in there that I will get straight away. Or if you want to contact me personally, you can contact me at barry@thevisionschool.org. So barry@thevisionschool.org.
Okay, barry@thevisionschool.org. Well, thank you so much. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to add?
I would really just want to encourage people to look both at their eyesight, to do that palming each day, to try that for 10 days and then let me know how you go. And I really want to encourage people to start thinking about how can they get their message out to the world, because the world needs all of us now to step up, get that message out there. So my big thrill is seeing people surpass me and do far better than I've done, because that means the message is getting out there. So I just want to encourage people to at least have a look at it.
Well, I'm really happy that I've had this opportunity to meet you in person and then also to help you share that vision. And like I said, I have participated in several of your programs, and just like what you just taught me today with the palming, and that was like instant eyesight improvement, very easy to do. And like you said, something as simple as that. Everyone, do reach out to Barry. Go to his website, thevisionschool.org. Go check that out.
And I just want to offer people, a free 20-minute focus session so that you can find out whether any of the work that we do is a fit for you. So if you just simply email me, we'll make sure we get that form out to you to have that free focus session, just to do something about your own eyesight and do something about your own vision of life.
Everyone, take that advice. Do something about your own eyesight and your own vision of life. This is Dr. Tami Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.